There's a lack of emergency services, and as we've been talking about, the desperate need for help. For more, let me turn to Tommaso Della Longa from the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. Tommaso, what is the status of aid getting to this country? Has Libya, I'm assuming it has reached the international community asking for help? It seems to me that help has been rather slow in getting in.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I would say that the situation is still very complicated, and I mean, it's shocking the level of devastation that we saw in the area affected by floods. Now, what I can say on our side, on International Federation of Red Cross and Crescent, we're working hand in hand with the Libya Red Crescent teams who are responding on the ground immediately in Derna and in other areas with their capacity, of course, and we are already coordinating next steps in the help. For instance, today, our colleagues of Turkish Crescent arrived in country with search and rescue teams, with medical equipment, with medical personnel to try to help as much as possible. Now, the reality is that the scale of devastation is so huge that it needs to be a team effort. It's not just one agency or one organization that can really bring the help needed. And what we are seeing also, that the clearer picture of the level of devastation will arrive in the next couple of hours and days. It's an unfolding crisis, and needs will be there for months to come. So even the solidarity of the international community, the solidarity of other organizations needs to be there, not only now, but in the months to come.
What is the biggest need right now? Our correspondent in Tripoli was saying they need equipment, they need technology to basically go underneath these piles of mud and rain-soaked areas, piles of debris to look for victims, possible survivors, and they don't have that.
Well, what Libya Red Crescent colleagues told us is like search and rescue teams for sure, but then shelter it's for survivors, a safe place where to stay, food, clean water, hygiene kits. I mean, the list of needs, it's huge. I mean, we can talk about something along the line of a perfect humanitarian storm, because we need also to think about the fact that Libya came from 12 years, endured 12 years of conflict, violence, the economic crisis. So the situation was very fragile, very vulnerable, and we can see it in this moment.
I guess my question is, we saw the disaster in Morocco. When there's an earthquake happens, it happens very quickly. There's very little time to get out of harm's way. But when there's a storm and these dams begin to swell slowly, you would think there would have been a better, I don't know, a warning system to tell people to get out, because these dams are going to collapse. And that simply did not happen, did it?
Well, I mean, this thing needs to be assessed and understood in the next days. When also we'll have telecommunication and more news and more information on what has happened. It's clear that there was an issue on infrastructure. This is absolutely correct. But again, we are coming from a decade of vulnerabilities and fragility in that country. So then we have this result, unfortunately.
All right, we'll leave it there. Tommaso Della Longa from the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. Thank you for all your group is doing.